Did you know that Dr. Dre didn't want 21 Questions to be released? Did you know that the fight scene in the music video was real and that security almost had to step in to break it up? And did you know that even though the song's name is literally 21 questions in the lyrics, he only asks 17 questions? If those 3 questions surprised you, get ready. You're about to be even more surprised. Today, I'll reveal the whole truth behind the song. 21 Questions by 50 Cent. I'm Guilherme, and you're watching DECIFRAHITS. 50 Cent is known for many things, for being one of the greatest rappers in history, for being a very successful entrepreneur, and for having been shot 9 times and survived. But when it comes to romantic music, the last person that comes to mind is this guy. Even so, on March 4th, 2003, he released not only the most romantic song of his career, but also the one that would change the history of hip-hop from then on. Released as the second single from his debut album, the song 21. Questions its title based on a popular game of the same name. In the 80s and 90s, teenagers had this game where they would get together in pairs and ask 21 questions to get to know their partner better. But, as I mentioned, many dismissed this idea coming from a gangster rapper like 50 Cent, especially his boss at the time, Dr. Dre, who immediately disapproved of the song. At that time, Dre was already a rap legend, and he had so much authority as a producer that questioning one of his decisions would be pretty bold. But that's exactly what 50 Cent did.
Dre didn't want you to make the song, right?
No, he said, I get what you want, but you're like a one-man NWA. You don't need that. He didn't understand why I wanted to release the song.
And why did you want to?
Because I wanted the girls to think they could fix me, and I had already done so many push-ups. I thought, I guess this is going to be good for my love life.
Are you kidding or are you being serious?
No, I'm being serious.
We know 50 is a master of sarcasm and wasn't serious here. This song was much more than just a passport to improve his love life, if you know what I mean. In a 2005 interview, he said Dre had an opinion about 21 Questions. It was just another song aimed at women, which had nothing to do with 50 Cent's image and that he didn't need to try to please a female audience. But 50 thought differently. He had a business mindset. He knew that to become a global star, he did need a song for the ladies. Anyone who watched our video on decoding hits in UP knows Tupac warned big about this years ago.
I told him, if you want to make money, rap for the ladies, not the guys.
And he was really right. As soon as it was released, 21 Questions was such a huge success that Dr. Dre not only had to eat his words, but also decided to make a cinematic music video for the song. Directed by Dr. Dre and Philip Atwell, the film features a plot twist at the end. The video opens with 50 Cent at home, counting piles of money with his girlfriend. When the police arrive, they start trying to hide the money desperately. If that face looks familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen her before. That's Megan Good, an actress known for movies and television shows from the 90s and 2000s. She even played Vanessa in the 3rd season of My Wife and Kids, remember? Ironically, she was 21 when she filmed this music video, and she has mentioned how it changed her career forever. Check it out.
I was in that weird transition phase where I was still playing characters who were 14, 15, 16 years old, but I was already 21. And as a child actress, that transition is really hard. People want you to keep being a kid.
And you were a child actress?
Yes, yes. So for me, that music video was like a national commercial saying, I grew up, I'm a woman now, you know?
After surrounding the house with dozens of heavily armed men, the police get ready to break down the door, and the music finally starts playing. That little riff at the beginning is classic, right? Man, if you're a millennial and you hear that sound, you instantly recognize the hit. This mix was produced by Dr. Dre, together with disc jockey Dirty Swift, using a sample from a Barry White song. Check it out. Then 50 Cent arrives. New York City, now you're rocking with 50 Cent? He borrowed that line from another song of his, from the mixtape Guess Who's Back from 2002. When he recorded that line, 50 Cent still wasn't world famous. He was only rapping for his own city, so it was important to mention his own name at the beginning of the songs. That way, people would get to know you. So, 50 Cent is taken away in the police van, and inside we notice that someone is picking on him. Someone who's going to have serious problems with 50 Cent later on. This is Tyson Beckford, a male model. Colleague, one of the most successful in history, who also appeared in I Appear Troll and the Kids, especially in that iconic Hawaii episode, remember? After arguing with Tyson, 50 Cent continues the introduction. I just want to relax, smoke a joint, and cruise in my BMW 745. There, it's slang for weed and curio. Interestingly, 50 had already said he never used drugs, even to maintain his physique, as mentioned in Formula 50. I only put that stuff on my album because I constantly saw artists making $500,000 talking about it, so he goes on. From this point on, officially, the 21 questions from the song start being asked. But instead of 50 Cent, Nate Dogg sings the chorus and asks the first two questions. Girl. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? Being rich or famous makes it easy to be loved. Jahuli's song. Wonderful raised this question a year later. So, if someone loves you even when you're broke, that person truly loves you. Nate Dogg, in case you didn't know, was one of the most influential West Coast rappers in the 90s. He, his cousin Snoop Dogg, and rapper Warren G formed the group 213, marking the start of Snoop Dogg's career. Unfortunately, Nate Dogg was in a car accident in 2007, where he suffered severe brain damage. And although he survived in the following years, he started to suffer multiple strokes. Until in 2011, he couldn't resist anymore and passed away. Originally, it was 50 Cent himself who sang the chorus of 21 Questions. But during the mixing of the song, Dr. Dre realized that Nate Dogg's voice would sound better. He called him to record, and he nailed it. After being thrown into prison, 50 finally manages to contact his girlfriend through the prison phone and starts asking the next questions. If I went down tomorrow, would you still love me? 50 Cent knows what goes up can come down. Success wasn't guaranteed overnight. Everything could just go down the drain. But would she still be with him? If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me, man? Nothing kills the vibe more than a smelly person, so I guess if she loves you even when you stink, man, she really loves you. If I got arrested and was sentenced to a quarter of a century, could I count on you to be there, supporting me mentally? Here, he didn't say a quarter of a century by accident. 50 Cent is referring to the prison sentence for homicide in the United States, which is at least 25 years in prison up to life imprisonment. Spending 25 years waiting for someone shows they must truly be the love of your life. It's a powerful statement. If I went back to driving an old junker instead of a Mercedes, would you just disappear? Like some of my friends did? A luxury car has always been a status symbol. I mean, who doesn't look good in a Mercedes-Benz, right? 50 Cent.
I don't remember so many people saying I was good looking before the money, you know? After the money, everything changed. Sometimes even I look at myself in the mirror and start thinking I'm good looking. What happened, 50? You're looking good, man. It must be my moisturizer, probably the cocoa butter.
If I got hurt, would you stay by my side? Interestingly, that actually happened to 50 Cent. Remember, after he was shot 9 times, his child's mother, Shaniqua Thompson, cared for him during recovery. We've discussed this before on Decoding and Die Club.
Have you ever fallen in love?
I think so, yes.
With whom?
With the mother of my son.
Shaniqua was likely the only woman 50 truly loved, but sadly, things went very wrong. When he was poor and lived in Queens, their relationship was stable. But 50 Cent says she changed completely when the money came in. Shaniqua even sued 50 for $50 million, claiming that the rapper should support her for the rest of her life. She lost the lawsuit and things got worse after that. When it's time to hustle, will you come along? I'll handle things, you just drive. The big guy made a gay reference. Guys, it's in this song, right? If it's for a gay person, will you talk about love? It needs to be in the Bonnie and Clyde style, you know? Then Lloyd Banks, also from the unit, appears. If instead of being a rapper, I was flipping burgers at Burger King, would you be embarrassed to tell your friends that you like me? Working at a fast food chain may not be the most glamorous job out there, but it's an honest profession. But it seems like gangsters are prouder to say they're drug dealers than to work honestly. But at least 50 got out of that life, right? And in bed, if I used my tongue, you would like it. And just like he brought a gangster vibe, he had to bring a sexual touch too, right? That line seems more like 50 promoting himself than anything else.
I still have a fragment of the bullet in my tongue that changed my voice a bit.
And singing too, right?
Yes.
Is it still on your tongue? Can we see?
Yes, it's great for oral sex.
If you wrote a love letter, would you write back? Remember, this song is from 2003. Back then, writing letters was common, and most people didn't have phones, email, or social media. But in a way, the letter allowed for a more human contact, which technology ended up taking away from us. And before 50 could continue the conversation, Tyson hangs up the phone. The guy's attitude really pisses 50 off, and he goes after the big guy for a fight. In an interview, Tyson confirmed the fight was real, with actual punches.
I remember doing the fight scene with 50, and I told him, hey, I know we're taking it easy, but it's okay if you want to go all out. I can take it if you want. You can punch me in the mouth, whatever. He said, sure, let's do it. So we were filming, and he hit me a few times, and I hit him once, split his lip, you know? That punch to the ribs was real. We took it seriously. It got to the point where his security almost intervened because they thought we were actually fighting. But 50 and I just wanted to do a good job, and it was a lot of fun shooting that music video.
Would you leave me if your father found out I'm a criminal? Do you believe me when I tell you that you're the one I love? At that moment, 50 slips the cop a little bribe just to meet his girl inside the police van. Slick move, huh? Then he asks 4 more questions. Are you mad that I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? Because if you are, girl, you're a blessing. Do you trust me enough to share your dreams? If I were sad, would you try to make me smile? But if you look closely at these scenes, you'll see that the chemistry between them doesn't seem like acting. That's because it really wasn't. At the time, Megan Good and 50 Cent were really dating, as she said in an interview. I've dated many men, but 50 Cent is the best. I kept the relationship a secret because I didn't want people to think I depended on him. I've always earned my own money. 50 Cent is nice, but he's strict about money and dislikes dependent women. Yeah, 50 wasn't kidding when he said that. Then he asks a pretty bold question. If I was with another woman and someone saw us and then you asked me about it and I said it wasn't me, would you believe me or leave me? Notice that here he starts by saying if I was and not if someone said. He's discussing facts, not rumors, and admits he'd lie to her face. So he's not just testing if she trusts him blindly, but also if her trust is greater than the reality of the facts. How deep is our connection? If that would be enough for you to leave, we're human, girl. We make mistakes to make up for. I do whatever it takes. When he says we all make mistakes, it's clear that he really cheated on the woman and takes it as a common mistake. So maybe the question here isn't whether she would forgive him, but rather, if it were the other way around, would he forgive her too? We'll never know. The fact is, even though it's a romantic song, he couldn't help but add a gangsta touch, a sexual appeal and the tough guy style, which was the standard of masculinity among gangsters at the time. I love you like a fat kid loves cake. You know my style. I'll say anything to make you smile. That's the best line in this song. It always reminds me of that scene from the Matilda movie. You know what I mean? In this interview, he already explained what he really meant by that line. It's not what you thought.
When I wrote that, I was thinking, I love you, but too much of you is too much for me. Just like cake for a fat kid.
After that epic line, Nate Dogg goes back to the chorus with the same questions from the beginning. So far, there have been just 19 questions. 2 from Nate and 17 from 50 Cent. Where are the other 2? Did you notice Nate sings something different at the end of the song? I'll ask you 21 questions, and they're all about us, so it's proven there are officially 21 questions. At the end of the music video, we learned the prison scenes were only a dream. A scenario imagined by 50 Cent. Actually, it's his neighbor Tyson Beckford who gets arrested by the police. 21 Questions was such a huge hit that it reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming 50 Cent's second #1 hit. Right after going to the club, there was even a female response version, 21 Answers made by the rapper Lil Mo, More. Ultimately, 21 Questions influenced many later love songs, including Wonderful by Jahul, released the next year. In other words, 50 Cent shaped 2000s hip-hop and proved that it was still possible for a rapper to talk about love without losing the respect of the streets. That's exactly where 50's genius lies. Instead of sticking to just one box, he's able to convey his essence through any type of track. The guy is so sharp that he can hide a declaration of war inside a song that sounds like a party track. That's exactly what he did when he created the classic Indie Club. I've already told this whole story in the video that's showing up here above. Just click to watch. Thank you so much for your company, and I'll see you there.